I try and have this thing all set up, but it's wonky. It's so wonky. So it may start going down and down and down. Like, I don't know. It is, it just won't stay. No matter how much I tighten it, it just keeps doing it. So anyways, there's a whole bunch of things that I've seen that I wanted to talk about. One thing is, though, is somebody pointed out to me, this is where my brain injury gets me, is on dates and stuff. When I very first got it, oh my gosh, I couldn't keep up. I missed so many different appointments or dates and stuff like that. I would make I would make appointments with this different people at the same time. And oh my gosh, I just couldn't put it together. Dates and time and money, that it just lost its grip in my mind. I couldn't do it anymore. So anyways, I do mess up on the dates. I appreciate it being pointed out to me, because I don't know why I started thinking that 11/3 was the voting day. And it's so weird. It goes way back too, because it's something today's one of my daughter's birthdays. And forever, I was always saying, like, she'd say something about her birthday and go, okay, yeah, 11/3 and stuff. And I kept saying her birthday was 11/3, but it's 11/2. And she would get always upset with me. I'd go, oh, I must get it mixed up with the voting. So I have no idea what happened. I think it must have been when she was born that was the first time that I had done the mail-in one, and I did it on that day or something. Like, I don't know what it is that I got so stuck in that we vote, and especially when I know there's 11/8. But that's what I mean, is like the two things they don't meet in my mind. It's like I know this and I know this and I know this, but I can't. Sometimes that doesn't all go in and go together. It's just separate knowings. Like, it's weird. But anyway, so yeah, it's going to be live on election night. And so I'm going to do it at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm doing it on TikTok because that has a much more bigger thing of people seeing it, like, especially on YouTube. I'm like, I think if I was live, I no telling how far back I would be. I don't know. But anyways, I think there's a better opportunity to get more people involved. And since we want to, really reach this, it's kind of like group meditation, only I just want it to be about getting your energy bigger. But even if you don't want to go on there and watch or whatever, is just do it in your house. Just get your energy big and dance around your house for what you want out of life. Freedom. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants to stop being under the thumb of the government. So the freedom of what that looks like to you, and dance it out. And I always visualize yourself as a warrior, whatever type of warrior, going into battle. Only this is a spiritual battle. So pull in your ancestors and stuff. They're around you. They're there for this. You're here for them for this. And so we are pulling in all of this energy to break free. We've got ancestors that have gone through the tyranny that we're just now talking about. I saw one of the things I saw was a guy, and he was emotional like I was about I was real emotional, but he was emotional for a guy, and he is Canadian. And the stuff coming out in Canada with more mass graves of children being found. They were, when they took over and took Canada, they just went in and just slaughtered Indigenous kids. They took them away and said, hey, we're going to put them in school. We're going to educate them. Y'all a bunch of natives. You don't know what you're doing. They've always discounted other ways of living. They decided which way, and the way they want us to live is the way that they control, in the way that they profit. They don't make money if we're all out there just living in our tribes, just living in our own communities and dealing with our own culture. They are not profiting, so they don't want that. They want it controlled and stuff. So now more and more mass graves, and the guy was talking about how is the crown and the church together has been slaughtering and massacring people for eons. Seriously, like throughout the different times in history, this has gone on and on and on. And this is such a big empowerment time, because we are taking our power back. But it's very hard for some people because they're still not awake in it. We just got to keep watching how it all plays out. But I think there's going to be a big thing that's going to happen for the awakening. And now with those stuff with the diesel and stuff, so I said my daughter-in-law got that message from her ex, who's a trucker who moves the oil. His job, like, I don't know for sure if he's got a different one right now, but his job was being in North or South Dakota at the oil, the pipeline thing or something. And then he would go and they would fill up his truck with oil, and then he would drive it to another place and he'd go back, get it. And then, so he was just going back and forth like that. So obviously with diesel. And so, I don't think they're just doing it with regular gas. I think they have to take the gas and then do some processing or something to make it where we have a different kind of gas. I don't think that we have all different gases coming out. I think it's part of their processing, and it is something with the motors and stuff. I don't know. It's all stuff. I swear to God, it's all just for them. They're all just wheeling and dealing and making money. So, anyways, so he had said that. So yesterday I went to go get water, and while I was down there, I drove past the gas station, just all of a sudden clicked, because it was like, I've always got all these things, and all of a sudden it was like, they sit there and keep talking about we're going to be out of diesel, but why aren't they saying we're not going to have anything? We're not going to have any gas, there's not going to be any food, there's not going to be any of this, any of that, because the only way to get any of this or any of that is on a diesel truck. All the gas that goes to the gas station all has to be brought in on a diesel truck. So if there's no diesel, how are they going to bring in any gas for any cars? So it's not going to just be no trucks are driving. There'll be nobody's going to be driving. So that is right there the huge way about they can bring us down, because their whole thing that they're doing, and it seems to be like over so many people's heads, is they are trying to create a third world nation in America. Like, they're doing everything that they've done before, and they've got to do it so much bigger. And then plus, to me, it's like their grand takeover, because it is so much bigger, and they do have so many obstacles, but they're up for any challenge. I mean, there's some sort of footage going around over in the Russia fight over there. They've got, like, I don't know, soldiers just in their jeans or something and baseball caps. I don't know. Apparently they're untrained and they're dying in mass numbers doing really dangerous things, and they just keep getting killed while they're trying to go to battle. But that's, we're expendable. They don't care. These people don't care. I mean, I know that over in Russia, and you got to keep in mind, this is something that I've got to constantly remind myself, is those people in different groups came for those particular experiences. It's not a crapshoot. People come by design. Everything is very, very designed. And so the things that are going on are the things that they came in to experience so that they could learn from it. But they did start telling them, like, whatever that's called. They did it during Vietnam here, where you had to go be a soldier. Like, you didn't have a choice. You couldn't just sign up. They said, you will be a soldier. And then in Russia, they were even doing it to girls, apparently, because that one video I had seen where that girl was crying. She was real super devastated and stuff. And so they told them that they, had to go be soldiers, and then they aren't training them, and they're getting killed right and left by, they're doing just dangerous stuff that they haven't been trained to do. So that is going on. But, it's not by any accident that they are taking these people in, like, Venezuela, and emptying the prisons and send them over here, because those people that were in the prisons are the same people who brought that place down to its knees. And so, and that is, there is so many criminals. I would probably, I think Venezuela is one of the most dangerous places that you can even go to. It is so, I think they had to pay like $8 for one roll of toilet paper. Like, they are so controlled. They are so poor. And there's so much crime going against them all the time. But see, that's what they're doing. They are, with all of their sick programming, they are taking the people who have that more fragile mind. Maybe they're not as connected to their soul, and they're taking those people and turning them into criminals and just soulless beings who don't care, who they see something and they think it's theirs for the taking. They don't have any kind of connection to anybody else. They don't care about people. And then they're programming their minds and, being, Jesus Christ, there's another freaking horrible ass murder. Like, it just gets so much worse and so much worse. That shows you right there. It's not the people, it is our society. We're breeding these people. We're creating these people by our society being sick. You got to think of it, the micro, macro. That's the trickle down. Is the sickness trickles down into each person. And not everybody is as strong as the next person. Everybody, it's a spectrum. Not everybody is resilient. Not everybody has that drive to get back up and go. And that is being played also so strong in Canada, which, coincidentally enough, has been social medicine for so long. But now that is being exposed is the darkness behind that part. And that is, one of the reasons why in the awakening, why it has this kind of flip around. Everything is going to have this flip around. Everything you think is one way, you see the light, but then now you're going to see the dark. Everything is flipping so that you have to see the truth. And so in the socialized medicine over there, now all of a sudden it's like, well, you're really kind of a burden. We really, we do us all a favor and just get on here in this machine. It just takes a second and you go out back into the soul world. So that is, they're doing so strong there. Oh my gosh, people, vets, people who are disabled. There was even one the other day, it was just a mom and her son was depressed and he didn't have a girlfriend, just a young guy. And that was the solution is, it's time for him just to go ahead and take himself out. Like, you're all a burden. If you're not giving into the system, anyone taking from it is a burden. And so they just want you gone. They want you out of the system. And so that is another thing that is just nonstop when I see people with their testimony and outrageous stories. So much of the Canadian ones are stuff about with the government. So much is being exposed. Like, I think, I think most of the world always just thought Canada was like this, Ozzie and Harriet land or something where everybody's happy and nobody's sad. And it's like the perfect world where everybody strives to be. And that's why I think something with it all coming out is to show the darkness behind what we all think is a beautiful landscape and beautiful happy people, and then they turn it around and show that what's going on behind the scenes. And it's disturbing, just as it is in every place. Like everything here too is so disturbing, but there's so many things that are shocking about the stuff coming out in Canada. And I think just because it has been really marketed to us is like this perfect land with perfect people that are never unhappy, and they all are just living the life. And so anyways, and I'm not there, so I don't know all of the stuff of like what people are going through and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that's just super sad. And so many more people now are talking about the Jamaican incident. There's people who have saved the footage and stuff. There's people who downloaded it. But I keep asking people every time they say, oh, I saved the footage, I keep saying, do you have the footage of them walking into the school? And that is when you put it all together, when you see them walking into the school, all happy, all dressed up, all fixed. And then as they go around that corner and being grabbed and dragged in there, and then the screaming. And then it's when you see the second part of the footage with the chaos. Because now I've even seen more where it's not just them on the ground, teachers rushing around, kids convulsing and all of that stuff. And like, all these teachers just like in a panic, like grabbing what, like don't even know what to do. And then the other footage I've seen now is out in front of the school. It seems like ambulances and stuff coming and all this movement of taking kids out. So yeah, it's, you know, whatever, they went in and massacred children. That's what they did. And it's been going on forever. There's that one footage of that guy talking about they just found 750 more unmarked graves of children in Canada. And all the stuff that the government, I mean, it's disgusting. So disgusting. It is, it's so hard. And then some more stuff, you know, that I had seen this morning. As soon as I went on to TikTok, it was just like bombarded right away with the stuff that I've been talking about. Like it was two different things with the GR, that you can't say, the black goo, and where I had said since the beginning, when people were being so smug and so arrogant about, well, I didn't do it. Well, I didn't do it. These stupid sheep and all that stuff. I just kept being like, you know, this is about the awakening. You're showing your ego, your arrogance and stuff like that. Because I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked how many people thought that they dodged a bullet and that was the only one coming at you. Like, to think that was, they only had one plan. They only had one plan. They were only going to try and do that. No, that was just added. And I bet you that there was some lot numbers that had some sort of antidote to some of the other poisons in some localized areas, because that is, we're an experiment. It's an experiment. If you understand how experiments work, if you don't, just look up how experiments work. You know, maybe I just learned about it when I had to take some of these science classes, but I completely understand and see how this works and what they're doing. And so this person was showing all these different products now that people have gotten. This is the first video. She was showing water bottle, all sorts of stuff. And people are taking it and looking under a microscope, and it's in everything. It's in absolutely everything. I mean, I've seen people look in water from in the outside, and those worm things are going around everywhere. I just saw a lady, this girl, she had a whole big haul of Halloween candy all over her table, and the thing was, you need to check your candy for your kids. Don't just hand them the candy. And so she started opening it. There's stuff inside of it. One of them, it looked like this long worm thing. And another one, it looked like I don't know what they, you know, people just got to realize, like, the government hires criminals. Like, criminals are everywhere. Like, they could go to the candy plants and then put it in there. Like, it's everywhere. People are being paid off all over this world to do crimes against other people. And that is all being exposed. That's all being shown to us. That's all coming out. That's why I've said before, there's people who are going to be hunted down, I think, when some of this stuff comes out and people realize, and somebody knows, like, it's going to be very localized, but there's going to be stuff that people are going to put together, and it is going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. And the reason I say that is just watch. All you got to do is just watch how this is playing out, how it's been playing out. It's not magic to see. It's just being aware, noticing, and understanding, you know, the human psyche, and just what is that called? I'm thinking of cycles, but like the whole thing of loss and stuff, like the process, like we have to go through processes to heal. And so all of the think of what I was talking about. Go off on too many things. But anyways, so all of these people who thought that they had dodged a bullet, well, it's the machine gun fire coming at you. So dodging one doesn't really make too much a difference. So yeah, that one hit some people and took them out immediately, but they're still shooting at us every day, all day long. And, people are just seeing in their own arrogance and ego, they just become oblivious. So anyways, the very first videos that I even saw was this one girl showing all of this different stuff. And she speaks out about this all the time. Like I said, so many people, they just will speak out about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and try and show you every bit of evidence to try and get you to see what they're seeing. It becomes their whole thing. But that kind of holds them back from seeing more unless their guides just keep bringing it or whatever. It is all so independent. Whatever anybody is going through, whatever they're doing, whatever they're learning is their independent way of getting where they need to go. So there is no judgment on anybody, what they're doing or whatever. But it's just in my observation. And so she is always talking about this stuff and how it is changing DNA, and she's also the one who speaks out about the Jesus code and the DNA and stuff like that. So she's very concerned about that they are doing something to our souls, I think. And so she was showing all these stuff of all of the different things that it's in, and she was pulling up the papers explaining what the stuff is and stuff. And then I went to another one, and this lady, she's outspoken about those these things and the chemicals and stuff. And she was showing a video of a guy who went and he got medicine. This was, I think, sinus pills, just the pharmacy. And then he took it and he scraped the letters off, the wording on the side, or the numbers, how it always has that stuff. So he scraped that off, put it in a little thing of water. And then he emptied the pills in it and dissolved it all. And so it all went in there, except for on the top was all this black stuff floating on the top, all these little, glittery kind of looking. And so he took a magnet and went and put it over to the side of the thing, and it all went over there and went and attached to it. So they, and it is freaky, especially knowing how they put all this stuff inside of us, in it, how much can they control? How much can they control on people? They know so much more than we do. And it is really, it's spooky for sure, especially as this keeps going and going. People who think that they are going to just control a certain group, we all have this stuff in them, all of us, and it's all in different degrees. And who knows, some of the stuff is going to just make people lose their damn minds. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's all part of their plan, however far this has to go. Just the same as the gas situation. When he's sitting there saying that, and he's giving all of ours away to the Crane of You right now. He keeps giving it all away and saying that we got to help them. He doesn't give a shit about us. He's got to, no matter what, when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, he's got to do whatever, because he is compromised. They have evidence on him. So even if it is the most absurd, ludicrous thing, he's still got to do it. He's still got to expose who he is at the core, because this is all going to come out. There's no more hiding the truth. Just like, I guess, I don't know, apparently Nancy's been trying to hide the fact that her husband's bisexual. Who knows if he even has sex with her? Maybe he just likes men. Maybe their whole marriage was arranged. So many of these marriages with these elite people are just arranged. Hillary was into a young girl. So was Bill. Ugh. They are just, they aren't into each other. They're into their lifestyle, and then it's the creation of this fake persona that they put out there. But so, these guys have been coming to their place all the time at night. He's always going out to gay clubs and stuff like that. Guys in their underwear and stuff. There's no more hiding anything. That's what I said. It's going to keep coming out and keep coming out. There's no more hiding it. So if you're doing things that are, you're hiding something about yourself, just figure it's going to be exposed. There's no more hiding. That's why so many people now are seeing their spouse was cheating on them and stuff like that. When I saw this one video, this one was a good one too, as a young girl. And she said, I'm a changed woman. She went to Indonesia with a fella who was her boyfriend. 3 days in, he, I don't know, got mad and destroyed the Airbnb. She told him, get the fuck out. So they broke up. He went and left. Then she got trapped there. She got in an accident. She got all her money stolen. She got, she was having one thing after another, and she couldn't leave until her ticket, because it was $4,000 to get a ticket, and she didn't have any money. And so she's just having one horrible thing after another, and this is all during a breakup, and being so stupid. How could I ever do this and go here with him? And you know how it is when you break up with somebody. And so she's just down on herself, and then it's just one thing after another hitting her. She gets back. Oh, she was also, took Xanax for anxiety, like all these different kids, and found out when she was there and she ran out that she was addicted. So she had to go through withdrawals. And then when she got back to America, she had to go in detox. And so then she just started working on healing. And then all of a sudden, her match came in. And so she was talking about that. Like, she was just shocked. Like, she did all this healing, and then this person came who was so much in alignment with her. She said, it's weird. We don't even have to talk. We communicate just by looking at each other. We know and stuff. And this is, in some people, they meet them earlier in this journey. And then they are, pushed together to create each other to heal. And it's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. But this one was really cool, because this is what I'm always saying about, you do your healing, you raise the bar. And then you aren't going out with people who are going to treat you bad. You're going out with people who are on your same wavelength, people who are in alignment with you. And so you pull those people towards you. So that's a significant impact with doing your healing, especially for people who are just dating and feel like, it's all just shitty people, not really in tune with anybody, oh, she's pretty, but she's really shallow, or whatever. Everybody has different things. But that is because you have things going on. You have stuff that you need to heal. You're bringing the people who are at your level towards you. And so when you're seeing them and you're seeing like, ugh, man, they've got issues, it's because you have issues. And so when you go in and you start just doing your healing, don't focus on relationships. People want to focus on dating and finding the right person. You don't need to date and find the right person. You need to, it's like dating yourself, which, so many times, like, I'll go in and I'll make a whole big elaborate meal for myself. And it is like dating yourself. It's like learning how to treat yourself well. You don't need somebody to come and take you somewhere. And especially, that just becomes awkward so often. Like, you go out to talk an awkward conversation with somebody for a free meal. Like, I date myself, cook for myself, love myself, take care of myself, listen to myself, and all of those kinds of things. And so then as you are healing and raising your vibration, you're bringing your vibratory matches towards you. And so, and to me, like, I've had people ask me out, but I mean, the universe has already shown me. Like, so I just will wait. Like, the lucky thing for me is, like, I know, like, your eyes tell you. Like, it doesn't matter how many people were to come up and, like, ask me out or something. I can look into their eyes immediately and know, it's like I can know a lot of things. I can see a lot of things. And I've learned to trust my inner knowing so much more through this journey, because there's so much stuff, like you're growing up and they're telling you, you're a science experiment, there's no Adam and Eve, it comes from a lab, and all that stuff that they were telling me. And, you know, I went through my whole life, and anytime I even told people, they thought I stopped saying that stuff when I was a teenager. I stopped trying to tell people. And so all those years, and I knew, like, I've always been talking to them. Honey, please don't. I've always been talking to them. And so, you know, I always just, I don't know, you're a part of a spiritual world when you interact with the spiritual world. You understand about the supernatural world. But everything just so much more came together for me. And in this, it's given me so much confirmation about the things that they have told me and shown me. And now as it's playing out and I'm seeing the evidence, then, you know, it's a lot of confirmation. So to me, you know, I don't know, I'm definitely feel like I'm metamorphosizing through this, like learning so much more about trusting my own inner guidance, and recognizing the voices talking to me. And I mean, I communicate with them all the time. And I know that's part of Stella does stuff, I know, to pull me back into this reality. Because, you know, I think sometimes, because, you know, over my video where I was so upset and stuff, and that people, oh, you got to just stop. You got to stop. You're breaking your own heart and stuff like that. And it's not breaking my heart, because I feel like that we need to see the truth, that we have to see the truth. And I think that it is, you know, creating us to be more empathetic and have compassion and see the tragedies that are going on all around us, to not have to have it happen in your backyard for it to affect you, but to be able to see that it's everywhere. And so, oh, there was something I wanted to say about that. Where people tell me about, what was it? I swear there's something about a dog too. It drives me crazy when I forget what I'm talking about right when I'm talking about it. Maybe it'll come back to me. But anyways, to me that I might just lost at this point. I don't even know. Oh my God. I feel like there's so much stuff. Sometimes it feels like it's like a murky swamp of information that is going around really quick. There's like, and to try and focus on one thing, it's challenging sometimes. So, but no matter what, you know, when my son-in-law or my ex-son-in-law was telling my daughter, and he was all concerned about the gas situation, and he is involved somehow. But then I had this other guy come in and start sending me all these videos of all these guys that work in the oil industry saying that it's all a bunch of bullshit. We got plenty. They're lying to you. They're just trying to create drama and trying to stress you out and stuff, which they do all the time. And that very well could be what they're doing. But I think no matter what, they're in the process of bringing us down to a third world status. They are trying as hard as they can. So they are in control. They are showing their control of the resources. They've been setting this up for a long time. The whole thing with the seeds and the male trees and stuff everywhere. They've set it up to, and the toxins they've put into the soil. So they've been, and now putting these lines in the soil. Like, what are you going to grow when they're fucking sending this charge through the ground all the way up? And so they've been setting this all up. Well, everybody's just been distracted, making them rich, becoming stressed out and poor for themselves. And so then, so even if they don't do it with the diesel, if it's another thing like this nuke thing that they just continue to hang over our heads, especially that's so annoying to me, knowing that they can't really even nuke us, but it's all just the lies and stuff. It's insane. And so then, so even if it isn't the gas thing, because I think this month is going to be, I think this whole month is going to be kind of spicy hot. I think, I cannot see them going red. The only way that they will go red on the 8th is if it's going to benefit them somehow, if it's a part of their plan, if it's part of something they're doing. It's not going to be anything for us. It's not going to be like, see what we can do. We went out there and we conquered. Unless that's what they're going to do, is give the illusion to those people to kind of soothe them, to pacify them. You know, okay, we'll throw them a bone. They can pretend. We'll let them think that they've got control. That would be the only reason that there's going to be a red wave or whatever. It would be the only reason. I'm expecting blue, full blue the whole way. I'm expecting that people are going to become really pissed and outraged over the cheating. And it's going to draw more attention to that. Because people got to see through the government. They got to see, like, we don't need this. What are they doing? What have they done? They've all just go to parties and steal kids and stuff. Like, they're creeps. They aren't governing. They aren't. And then besides the fact that they make their rules for them. I mean, for us. They don't follow any of their own rules. They just do whatever. We're the ones that are supposed to follow the rules. And then they put in, policing us so that they can, create criminals and crime and prisons and stuff. Prisons are privately owned too. Like, all of their stuff is so fucking corrupt. So I think it's going to start right away. And I think it's going to keep building or something. Like, I think whatever it's going to be, like, we know it's got to flip going the other direction. There's no getting around that. It has to flip going the other direction. That's cosmic. That's nothing about anything other than, divine timing of how it's going to flip. And it's already happened. So it's not like we're in the process of making it. It's trying to kind of catch, like, when this happens, because it's going to happen. It's already happened, and it will happen the way it's going to always happen. But for us to be further back is kind of like watching and trying to put it together over when it's going to happen. So it's essentially trying to look into the future of something that's already happened and trying to see, so when is it, trying to be kind of prepared, like, so when's this going to happen? Because it's 100% going to happen. It's 100% going to go the other direction. A pendulum doesn't go and then go all the way around. The pendulum swings and swings back. And when it swings back, that is going to be when everything goes the other direction, when you have to see the truth. Everybody, and so many people live in an illusion that is going to hurt, because the truth is going to show them the illusion that it's all fake. So there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot to process. But there's no getting away from that at all. That's going to happen. I think it's going to be dramatic because of all of the different scenarios. Like, there's so much. So I think it's going to for sure be dramatic, because it has to do with the financial, every institution that our whole lives have been built on. It's going away. It's crumbling. It's like it's a reset. So it's all going to go to the wayside. And it just drives me crazy. People trying to hold on to this shit. But so we have to let go of it. And then we start rebuilding. It's going to be rebuilding from small to bigger. Like, it is actually going to be like a journey, I believe. Once this goes down, I think it's going to be pretty traumatic, whatever's going to happen when it switches to go the other direction. And we have so many events on the table. It reminds me so much of Cabin in the Woods, when they're sitting there like, oh, should we get them with the zombies? Should we get them with the merman? Should we get them, like, all of their possibilities are endless, what they can strike us with. And they've got the control. And so I think they're going to, I would assume, keep striking us to try and hold it back, but they can't hold back nature. They can't hold back a natural progression of things, cosmic cycles. There's no holding that back. So, but all the things they're trying to do to keep in control is part of our problem. that's what we're facing. And that is where we have to really be like on top of it. Like, okay, they're going to do something. Like, they've got a lot of things they can be doing. So you don't just sit back and be like, to me, it's like you got to be prepared. You got to be on guard. You got to be watching if you want to survive. If you don't, then just sit back and watch TV and wait for it to be over with. But for people who do want to survive, who do want this new opportunity to rebuild, then, you got to be paying attention. You got to be taking care of yourself, especially when we're being so heavily poisoned. I mean, the amount of poison is going in. All these people looking at everything under microscopes and looking up all the different chemicals in our food and stuff. I mean, it's shocking that any of us are fucking walking and talking. I'm surprised that the whole fucking world isn't just in hospital beds. Like, that just shows how strong we really are, that we've been being poisoned so strongly for so long. And right now, they're even adding so much more. So it is vital for you to be paying attention to the world so you know how to take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of it. And so anyways, to me, there's no getting away from something coming. So if it's not the nuke, if it's not the diesel, or whatever, it's going to be something. And I'm so stiff. Oh, God, I'm so stiff. And Stella up all motherfucking night. Oh, my God, the first time I come out, it was 11:50. I was like, motherfucking, this is going to be rough. And, oh, God, I got to get something better for her to sleep. And then, I don't want to go get more pills. Like, I don't want to fill her full of graphene. She's already got so much stuff. And I just said the word, and now I'm going to go, maybe I only said part of it. I didn't say the whole thing. So I know that I've slipped some words through. So I think, I don't know, how they catch everything. I think they said a thing because you have to go through 3 stages to even get your download on. So I think in that they go through and they listen to, they have a computer that catches certain things and then it will flag it or something. And because that's where I've had them, when you're trying to put it on. And sometimes I'll be trying to put it on and every time it gets to the end, it flips back and starts back over. It's so strange. And then sometimes it will go so slow. And I don't know if that's because there's tons of people downloading at the same time, but it will go super slow, hours and hours to just move it one little thing. And then other times, like yesterday, it went all the way through. It was like in 15 minutes. And then it got to the last little part and it stayed there for like an hour and a half. It was, so I don't know what all goes on with all their stuff. Today, I got to pick my URL. So my URL, my handle is just at Kelly Hart. And supposedly you just put in at Kelly Hart and you can find me. So we'll see. There's another Kelly Hart that's all over too. It's some skateboarder, musician, young guy. And so, but both of us, when I put it in, both of us popped up. So anyways, hopefully it'll make it easier for people to find me. Because I know, like before, people were always saying it was hard to find my stuff. So I don't know, but I know that they're going to be letting us out of the closets and they're not going to, that'll be one thing too that will happen is our information and what we're seeing and hearing is going to change huge. We're not going to see tons of videos of people just dancing in their underwear. I think that a lot of people who have done that kind of stuff, a lot of people who have exposed certain parts of themselves, I think are going to feel a lot of shame and embarrassment. Like they're going to suddenly see themselves as naked before the whole world because their soul is going to suddenly go, boo, guess who's in here? And then because people think that there's nobody watching, and some people don't realize your own soul is watching. And, but that's part of their learning. That's part of their journey. And it's going to be a difficult one. Like, it doesn't seem to be any easy path here. There is no easy time that anybody's having or will have during this. This is going to be, hard for everybody. Everybody's here growing some part of themselves and expanding in some area of their their being, their soul, their existence, their essence. So everybody has something that they're expanding. And one thing that they keep showing me, and this is so cool. This visual is so cool, but I really, really don't think I can explain it. It's like trying to explain the Grand King into somebody. But so here, us, where we were at in this world, so see if I can explain this. So if you were to look at this world, we feel like we're so big and everything's so big and stuff, but then they show me that goes down. So say like if you're looking at it and you start pulling back, and so pulling back, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But as it's pulling back and that's becoming smaller, you see that there's billions and billions and billions of the same thing all around it, just billions, like a cell. Like if you went up close on our skin under a microscope and you looked at the skin and you saw all of the cells and all of this cellular formation, and like I've said before too, like it's like a honeycomb too, it does look like a honeycomb too, but so all of those things. And so the one that they keep showing me when I see the earth is like it's lit up. So there's a light coming out of it. So it shows me that we are one of the cells in all of these different cells, all of the different cells, all of the different possibility, all of the different timelines, all of everything. Everything is everything in this whole universe. Like everything is endless possibilities. That's why I'm always saying, don't let anybody hold you back of what you think. If you think something before someone else or new to somebody else or nobody understands what you're saying, you just created that. You just made that. So don't hold yourself back. Be the creator that you are, because it's endless possibilities. There's nothing that can hold you in. You are the one who holds you back. But when they show me that, and it looks like skin almost, if you were like a giant. Ooh, and I saw this footage, all of the people who push on the mud floods in Tartaria and stuff like that. So they're always showing these old buildings with these giant doors. Giant doors, like, huge. And so then this footage was yesterday. This guy was showing this footage of a diver down in the water, and he found a giant helmet. And then he showed a helmet of what it looked like, a gladiator helmet. So it looked like the same thing as gladiator helmet, only this nose piece thing, it looked like it had probably rotted off or something. So it was more like the eyes, and then it went like this, and then the big metal, like this big metal head shield that they would wear. It's down, and the guy is going inside of it. The thing is fucking huge. And so this guy took the measurements, and he took all of the different giants that we've had where they've found bones. They hide this stuff. The Smithsonian is the biggest cover-up institute fucking out there. But so they have hidden all these, but there's a lot of articles and stuff, and there's a lot of measurements. So there's a lot of different sizes of giants that have been found. And so and he was basing it on how we are six, whatever our size of our head, that we're 6 heads tall. And so he was basing that on that. And so this giant that would have been the gladiator, it was 40 feet tall. And that would have been the ones who would have been going through those doors. These doors are huge. So there was some giant people who have lived here. And that is like a separate species, a separate age, a separate experience, a separate reality, a separate time and space that happened. Like there's all of these things, because it doesn't all just run into it, but it affects things. Like I don't know how to explain some of this stuff, but anyways, I'll go back to the thing with the realities. And so then when you go further back, you see how really small, and it isn't like insignificant, but it is insignificant. It definitely does not matter to the point like where we take things so serious. It is a lot more of a, it is such a small thing. It really is like a grain of sand on a beach here where we are, this experience compared to everything else. Like it really is the cell, one little tiny cell of a solar system. That is this whole planetary system, the whole thing underneath the firmament is that small and insignificant. So just imagine yourself. I mean, we are literally like parasites on a parasites in an animal or something. Like, and I think that is what they try and kind of push on us right now, is like we're parasites to this world, to this reality, that we are using it up and stuff. It's them using it up, but because our fragile psyches, you know, it's so easy to make us feel like shit, and everybody runs and gets a beer and a fucking Xanax. And so, you know, that they play these games with us. And so anyways, the it's just it was really really cool. I can still see it so perfect too, how it is just everything. Everything is the fabric of the is made up of all these cells, but everything, every fucking fabric. And it's just so crazy because you feel like you're bigger. You feel like this is everything, and it really isn't. And how everything is literally a thought, a dream. It's weird. And then how they show me how it moves constantly, how it's always moving. And there is like us being focused right now. That is the experience. It's the focus on that reality for that moment in time. And because everything is moving so fast. But when you're in this, it feels like it's slow because you can focus on it. You can focus on it from the time that you were born and go through. So it is, time feels different to us than what it really is, because it's really happening like boom, 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 boom. Everything is moving and stuff really fast. So anyways, it's fascinating to me. And it's intimidating and a little bit scary, like how, you know, how vast everything really is. It is a vast world of communication. And it is all of the beings that are all around us. They're always communicating with us. And we are a part of that system. You know, just like inside of your body, you know, when you are thinking, when you are receiving messages, your whole entire body hears them. Just like that guy talking about the guy who does all that stuff with plants. And that there was those experiments when he was, I can't remember what he was doing. It seems like it was something. Oh, it was with that test that you can test, lie detector test, I think, is what they were doing on them. So he would hook up a plant. I think it was a lie detector test. But anyways, or it was a sound one, whatever it was something where they started doing some sort of communication with the plants. And the plants would start to scream and start reacting right before something happened. Like they knew something was about to happen, and the plants would react before it happened. And he found this over and over and over and over. And it is really interesting. And I kind of feel like that is kind of like what we are coming in tune with. Like we can all feel something's coming. We know we need to wake up. We know we need to pay attention. We know something's about to change, but we just don't know what. Like in the conscious state of the plant, did they know what was about to happen, or they just knew something was about to happen? And that is what, you know, I think is going on as we awaken. We become so much more connected to our natural instincts, our, you know, our gut, is our soul, you know, and that is, the essence of who you are. And it is just as mind-boggling to watch how many people are completely cut off from their own soul. And there's nothing, the only thing I saw, I don't know why Elon was making such a big deal, but who knows what side. Like, you just don't know what side anybody is on. There's so many people who are so anti-Trump, and they just go on and on, point out everything he has done wrong throughout this. To me, I think that there is going to be more to that story. I think there's going to be, he was bringing certain things to our sight, to our awareness. And so, there had to be a scapegoat in some cases. There had to be, somebody to go out there and say, okay, we're going to trust you. What do you got for us? And there was so much stuff when he was talking, and he was bringing up those certain things, like lights and certain medicine and stuff, and they said no, and he's got them on video. Well, somebody had to be in there asking the questions, so there had to be somebody in there, the scapegoat or whatever, the dummy that had to go in and get them all on tape, get the evidence. So that is what has been going on. So I get why there's a lot of people who just don't trust anybody at this point. It is hard to know who to trust and who you can't trust, because everything's an illusion. But the thing that we can rest assured on is that we don't have to worry about that. It's all going to be exposed. So I don't sit there and go on and on and on like, oh, is Elon a good guy or bad guy? Is Trump a good guy or bad guy? Blah, blah, blah. And people get so stuck just doing that. Even somebody was saying about Trump saying something about Assange or something like that. It's like, yeah, but if he wasn't talking about him, how many people never even would have heard of him? You had to get the person's name out there, get people talking about it. So however it was that they had to bring it in, they had to bring it in. And most things have to be dramatic and outrageous, because that's what catches our attention. If he's just sitting there talking nice, then who's going to pay attention? If he's sitting there talking shit, everybody's paying attention. So, that's the way I look at it. So anyways, I there is no way to know who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. There's no way to know how many people have been MK Ultra and how many people are waking up to finding out they're in a fucking nightmare. There's just a lot going on. And, you can drive yourself crazy trying to research and get into everything. But the most important thing is for you to, really focus on yourself and your healing, because that is what everything is being brought up so that people can heal. And that's the main thing. No matter all of this stuff that is going on, the health scare that brings you into your body, to start really treating it like a temple. The government, as it collapses, it shows us that, we don't need these people who lie to us and take our money from us to set rules for us. We can figure out how to govern ourselves. We can make it much smaller. And obviously it was so big that it was not going to go down easy. It had to collapse. And so we're along for the ride. And so that is going to go. The education system, that has been shown over and over. I swear to God, that's on the daily. It is shown that it is not for education. It is for programming. It is for indoctrination. It's for mind control. That's all it's for. And it's to start from the beginning so that they get us like right out of the womb and go start controlling us. So that's going away. All of these corporations, that's going away. That just got to be where it was just about making money. There's no good quality products. They use additives and poisons to extend the life of products. Like all of the things that went wrong. I just saw a video showing that back in the 50s or 60s, everything was so great that they thought everybody was going to be on Easy Street, like 10 years. They were saying that it was set at that time that one person in the home could go to work for 10 hours in a week and be able to pay all of their bills. And then the rest of the time was their time with their family and free time and stuff. And so they had to go in hard and to destroy the economy, to destroy small business, to destroy our independence. And so, that's when everything started having to be made in China, and all of the taking down all the manufacturing and all of the stuff. It's been going on all as part of their program to take us down. And so now we're to the place where they are trying to take us down. And I don't know how far it's got to go. I don't know. I mean, I've said about a zillion times, I'm shocked it's gone this far. But, you see that people are still asleep. But to go through all of this and still be people asleep, then you see that the Great Awakening is what's going to wake people up. That this bad thing that is about to happen is going to be what's going to wake people up. I'm only saying it's going to be a bad thing because of what we are facing and what they're trying to do to us. And we know everything has to go the other direction, and they're trying to stop it. So I just, it's like putting together 2 and 2 to me. So anyways, to me, no matter what, even if they're lying about the diesel thing again and lying about this or that, there's still something. They're going to come. Are they going to keep us all looking over here? Oh, look, diesel, nukes, blah, all this stuff. And then they're going to come in behind us with a fucking locomotive. So, whatever it is, they're going to do something. Yeah, because it's the end. They got nothing to lose. And it was always going to happen. It already happened. It was never, there's nothing different that's going to happen. It is us. It's like we're reliving the experience. It is really like a deja vu. I just saw a movie about that new show, The Devil Hour or something, and it shows that about how realities just keep going. And it was after that show is when they started showing me more about that with the cells and the realities and stuff like that, because on a bigger scale, not just on the smaller scale of the individual, but on the larger scale. Because before they were showing me a lot of stuff about the realities for the individual, and how everybody was trapped in their own reality. They were cut off from the outer reality. And so you have to pull out from your self-involved, ego-driven mind. You have to pull free from that to start experiencing the world around you. Then you have to re-experience what's inside to understand. So you have to, start connecting with your soul to see, like, oh my God, how can this be happening? Why would this be happening? And that is when, you just got to start asking yourself the questions. Why am I here? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? And as long as you're serious and you pay attention, then they're going to show you, and they're going to tell you, and they're going to help you. So anyways, it's a beautiful journey. It's one everybody will be forced to start who's planning on going to the next stage. But it is... it's there for everybody to grow. And growth doesn't come, I'm telling you, people don't grow when they're just having parties and celebrations all the time. You have to go through trauma and tragedy. And then that is what creates growth. And we're going into this huge growth thing. So again, that's confirmation that whatever's going to happen is even going to be worse than what we've been going through. It's going to be like a freaking... the grand finale at the fireworks show. It's going to be everything popping off at once. And the weather control, oh my God, especially right here, how they have it so fucking cold. So cold. And then you go out in the sun, which the sun is way closer. It's huge. And it is bright white. But it touches you. It blinds you. You can't see. It burns your skin. And it's so absurd. The sun is so hot, but it's freezing cold outside. So again, I think that it's something about trying to create these weather systems, because it's when cold and heat hit, it creates huge systems. So I don't know. And then I drove, when I was passing by the fire station, they always have those signs out that say different things, for the summers, like fire ban or whatever. And now all of a sudden it says, be prepared. Look up online for your evacuation route or something. I was like, that's what I've been talking about this whole time. We have got such limited evacuation, but they're telling us right there, so be prepared to evacuate. And, you know, like I said, even when I was looking at the different ones, like even looking at the one going up the mountain, and then they've got Stevens Pass. I don't know if it's still blocked off, but if they start doing an evacuation here and heading us that way, it will be blocked off, because they're controlling our movement. They're trapping us in certain places and keeping us contained and controlled. And then they think, you know, they'll pop up some of those camps and help people out. Oh, well, you know, I know we've all got problems here, but we're gonna help you all out. We've got food, we've got resources. Just come over here to our camp. And then all of a sudden you don't get out. You're trapped. It's like, this is the shit they've been doing for a fucking long time. And you know, wake up and pay attention, as far as I'm concerned. So anyways, you know, I don't know. Yesterday I watched that movie The Mist on Netflix right now, and it is, I don't know, it just every fucking thing I see, every fucking movie has disclosure all the time. That one is some fucking science experiment and military science experiment that got loose, and you know, is going in and killing it. And they were trying to open up a portal, and they wanted to, because that is why they were showing me that last night. Because of the tightly woven fabric of everything, they are trying to open it up, slice between the realities, so that they can open themselves out into other realities. So they think that they can like physically slice through or something, and then they open it up, and then they bring in the things that are in the other realities, creatures and stuff that we're not normally having. That's what this movie was about. And one thing in the movie I thought was so poignant is that at the end, when they have, you know, they've got a gun, 4 bullets, 5 people, they hear the creature coming, and they just give up. He shoots everybody, shoots the girl, the guy, the old people, shoots everybody, kills them, and he's sitting there suffering and pain and sad and crying. He had killed his own kid. Then he gets outside the car and he hears the creature coming, and he starts yelling for it to come over. And then as those things coming, it's all of a sudden tanks and army, and they're fire shooting, and they've got rescue trucks going and all sorts of stuff happening. And but see, they gave up too soon, and that is what I've said I think is gonna happen for a lot of people. The exact scenario is what he just showed in that movie, that people are gonna think all is lost, we better just do ourselves in. And then they will, and then everything's going to change and go the other direction. So that's one reason why I try and speak out all the time, because even when all things seem lost, and it's going to seem like all things are lost, it's going to switch it to the other direction. And so that's why I say you got to just stay strong and hold on. Don't be somebody who gives up, even if it seems all is lost. The creature's about to just chomp down on us. Even if the creature's about to chomp down on you, grab a stick and fight. You know, go out fighting. There is no, don't go out and surrender and give up. Go out fighting, and you know, as you're fighting, you won't even notice you transition out. As you leave your body, you'll still be battling, so you won't even notice. Just fight to the end. Don't give up, and stay strong. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.